Normally I'm freaking out. Oh, I'm set. Fuck, turn this phone on. Whose phone is that?
Whose phone is that?
Talk about something that's really, cemented itself into the consciousness of people. Just the idea of Roy Keane. Whose phone is that? Like he's really kind of he's really like, I don't know.
No, he's just floating around in people's, consciousness or subconsciousness.
He's like a real he's like a real character in the story of Ireland. Roy Keane, Captain Keane. Whose phone is that? No, but normally I freak out at the start of the podcast. Oh, I'm setting this up. I'm doing everything myself. But a lot of the work in terms of setting up shots has been between Jack and Daniel, and I cannot tell you how delighted it makes me feel to look at the boys going, they're setting up the shot, and then Daniel's setting it up and says, what do you think of that? And back and forth, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, and
that's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, and I must say, you're not freaking out today, as usually. So why was that?
This? No, but I guess I was... Oh, no, because the auto pole, we have, instead of tripods, we've got this big pole that... wedges itself between the floor and the ceiling, and I was trying to I was trying to do that. It's funny. I was doing a show last night on Shaw, and I was using the word wank, and there was Americans in the audience, and there was a woman, happened to be a woman. I said, "Do you know what wank means?" And she goes like, "Oh no," she goes like that or something like that. She does this, and I'm thinking Americans are great. They're so generous, you know what I mean. Like whereas an Irish girl would be like just like over to the corner going. Anyway,
but like okay.
Whatever.
For the listeners who can't see, David was just and Hannah now are just making an example of how Americans wank compared to Europeans.
It's funny.
Like, I don't know. Can you wank like this?
I don't know. Whatever. Listen here. It just seemed
that's the salt shaker method.
That's the salt shaker. Did I tell you about that? Well, if I didn't, and I don't know if I've said it on the show, where I was talking to a guy and I was telling him. So I was talking to him. Was I telling you about this?
No.
And I was in Dean Street and I was getting a massage. And at the end of the massage, the woman says, she just at the end of it, she goes like that to me. Right? So I'm telling this guy the story of that, right? Mm-hmm. So he's standing there, and across the road, there's a woman walking towards me. And just as I went like that, I at the same time as I did that to your man telling the story, I kind of looked at your one walking towards me. So from her perspective, she just sees a guy looking at her doing this, look, right? And then she reacted like this when she saw me do that. She went like that. And then I'm thinking, because I don't know her, and so she must have thought I was waving.
Yes.
But it's dangerous.
It is.
Like I can't go over to.
She might have done this to you.
Anyway, it's
the middle finger.
It's a story I'm trying to wangle into my set.
Comedy.
Wank into your set.
Don't say that word. And also very big news, by the way, as regards this June the 22nd gig in Leicester Square Theatre. I have a very big comedian who sells out massive venues in the UK, and I can't say
it's very, very,
very funny. And I can't be more delighted that he's going to actually. Well, you couldn't say because he's so much more successful than me in UK, but he's just going to perform for 20 minutes before my gig. Brilliant. So, say that again. So yes, that's that. Oh, do you want to introduce? Oh, this is the Father's Day special. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you're not freaking out for the first time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to And That's Why We're Not Together, a special Father's Day Q&A episode starring David McSavage and Hannah Andrews.
And my young horses galloping in the fields of their future. The young Jack and the young Daniel. Daniel, the calming influence. I also, you're right. I was freaking out yesterday, and I know definitely from Daniel's point of view, he's sort of observing all this and going, "Why are they freaking out all the time?" Because to somebody who doesn't naturally operate like that, it seems very unnecessary. So I'd like to say, Thank you for your patience, Jack and Daniel and Hannah. Thank you for allowing me to fuck up from time to time. I will endeavour to do better, but it's doubtful. Oh, do you want to do this?
We have a card for you.
Oh, yes, and Daniel bought me for Father's Day a bottle of Lucasade. Thank you, Daniel. That's very nice. And Jack has got me Ferrero Rocher.
But the card as well. So
should I read it?
I don't know, Jack. Is it?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a little platitudes.
Platitudes.
I think they're genuine, though.
Of course, yeah.
Can I read it?
Well, if you want to, but I mean,
yeah, read it.
Well, I mean, you know,
read it. Just let's see what he wrote.
It's a bit embarrassing.
Oh, is it?
No, I'm joking.
Oh, yeah, you know, let's
I
be
don't
all
care.
embarrassed.
Yeah, go on.
Let's all be embarrassed.
God, dear Father, thank you for. Oh, I'm going to get upset, Anna, if I read
Okay,
this.
maybe you show some emotions.
I
We have
can't.
tissues here, so don't be afraid.
Oh, Jesus, thank you for being such an amazing dad. Oh, Jesus.
Go on.
You Jack, stop messing around. You always what does that say?
You always me and
You always what?
me?
Are
No.
Supportive, I think.
you always are and believe in what I do. You always
Believe me, in me, maybe. Well, let me.
Oh, I see. You always believe in me and what I do, and it gives me a lot of confidence. You're by far the funniest comedian in Ireland and my favourite. Ah, Jesus. I'm so proud of your success. You deserve it. Thanks for being my father, and thank you for being you. Love your son, Jack. Oh.
Wipe your tears.
I can't. I'm not. Yeah, I wish I was Kevin Spacey now and I could cry on demand.
Yeah, I mean, actors, they can do it.
Did you see that interview with him and Piers Morgan where he says, I was handsy.
What handsy mean?
It means put your like put your hand there, and it's like. Jack, thank you so much. That's very touching. It means a lot. We're here for such a short time, and we will not exist for way longer. And I'm very grateful. Thank you, Jack, and thank you, Daniel.
Thank you. So do you want to get into the first question?
Oh yes. Well, so this is the Father's Day special, Hannah.
Yeah.
First question.
Father's Day
2024.
It's a fabulous day.
And
when I was growing up, there wasn't any Father's Day. Father's Day is a mother creation.
was there a Mother's Day?
Always. Mother's Day was always.
Yeah.
Father's Day, especially in Poland, is like since we became, we lost communism, we got Father's Day, Valentine's Day, and all the other days.
So communism doesn't appreciate the father as much as it appreciates the mother.
Yeah, I think traditionally, because mothers were always oppressed and working hard, that, you know.
The motherland, the fatherland.
Okay, but anyway, it's beautiful. We have equality now.
We're mothers and we don't need a Mother's Day. Why do we need a Mother's Day? Okay. Read the questions. Sorry.
So
question one.
On the theme of Father's Day, what would people be surprised to know about your dad?
I would be surprised to know about my dad.
I know that he actually chilled down and he forgotten all his rules and he can actually play with grandchildren.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that is lovely. That's the great thing about grandchildren. There's a lovely sort of it's like a second chance at being a dad in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I have a special bond.
Well, look, what would be the thing? I don't know actually. I don't know. What would be the thing that people wouldn't know about him? Well, I think he was a bit miscast in terms of what he did for a career. I think, probably a sensitive young kid, David, me dad, and sort of followed in his father's footsteps to an extent. Well, I mean, he became a lawyer with the intention of getting into public office. I always think he would have been a lot happier as a cowboy or something in the Midwest, like a Lee Marvin type of dude. You know what I mean?
John Wayne.
Yeah. Well, I think if he could have been a good actor. You never know.
They're his favorite movies.
He loves westerns. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, he loves westerns.
But in a way, being politician is like being an actor.
Yes, it is. What did they say? Politics is show business for ugly people.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what they say.
Yeah, and he's very, he's wherever he goes, he's always like, well, hello,
Oh yeah, well yeah, he's definitely still in minister mode when he's outside. Anyway, let's go.
This is from Ian Brennan, Ian with 2 N's. What is the one joke, there has to be one, that you really want to tell but you have bottled? One that cracks you up but you can't perform live?
Well, I mean, I can't tell it, obviously, because it's too dark. I mean, there is a guy called Jerry Sadowitz, and he recently got into hot water, but he plays this diabolical character, but like as bad and as punch and vicious as his jokes are. Like, I mean, as an individual, you just go, oof, and that's it. I don't know. I mean, that's the exciting thing about democracy and freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, it's not just an idea, it's an active thing. And that's why me and Jack, and I don't know if Daniel, did you see Speaker's Corner, Daniel?
No, I didn't see it personally, but...
Well, I kind of just love that place. I mean, I wouldn't say love that place, but you just see these completely opposite opinions, crazy shit being said. And it's very advanced, I think, and people can't handle it. So, but the problem is, I do, what I do on social media, there's always that, like I live in a rented accommodation, and there's always that fear that you could get kicked out or you could get a letter at any moment. And on social media, you're always kind of slightly worried that you could just, because they say it on Instagram, they say, if you don't follow our guidelines or if you make people feel unsafe, you can get kicked off our platform without any warning. Now, by the way, so if somebody says I'm unsafe, so they can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what is unsafe? Like, unsafe?
Yeah, it's
like, it's interesting. Back in
broad.
the 80s, if somebody said you were unsafe, you'd look around. Well, nobody's attacking you. Nobody's trying to. Are there invisible things attacking you? So unsafe, a feeling now. Is enough, so it's for comedians who will fuck up from time to time, it's scary enough. So yeah, there's loads of jokes. Well, I can say them live, but I wouldn't say them in this situation.
So another question we have from Raymond Farrell. He has a question about, you've been in quite a few TV and movies with the likes of Ralph Fiennes, Jessica Chastain. Rafe Fiennes, Jessica Chastain.
You have to say Rafe. We were told, before he showed up on set.
Rafe.
His name is Rafe. It's pronounced Rafe, not Ralph.
Rafe. Okay, because Rafe.
So the question is, what were they like to be on? I guess... Tell us how it is to be on these Hollywood sets. Is it a lot of fun? Are people divas?
Well,
etc., etc.
Oh yeah. Well, excuse me. When you're on a big set, right? There's no fucking around, unless you're a big actor. There's so many people. And you've got this, and we're shooting this scene, and everything is going in that direction. So if you're the one to fuck it up or slow the whole thing down, it's a horrible feeling. So, but the thing is, that film, The Forgiven, with starring Ralph Fiennes and Jessica Chastain, also amazing actors. Abby Lee, what was his name? The other guy, the double barrel name. What was his name? Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna find it.
No. Ralph Fiennes, Chris Abbott,
Caleb Landry Jones,
brilliant actor, and also
he got some award.
Yeah, he did. He won the Best Actor in Cannes Film Festival for Nitram.
That's a good prestigious.
Yeah,
award.
it's the top, and also Doctor Who.
Oh, he's what's his name? He's
And
got
and
small
Mary
eyes.
Jose Cruz.
Oh yeah, I'm so fond of her.
So
So-
anyway, we all stayed in a hotel near a town called Erfoud in Morocco for a month, and so it was really cool hanging out. You know, and I have said it on the podcast before. Like I had a chance to hang out and chat to Rafe Fiennes. And yeah, interesting dude. Like when I was hanging out with him, he was in that, and maybe he was in that mood where, I don't know. I just think fucking, wanking on about fucking.
Oh yeah, I just want to tell. You should tell.
No, I'm
people
just saying, just
you
going
were
on
in
about
the-
Rafe fucking fine. I mean, I had
what about,
two or
you
three
know-
conversations with the fucking guy.
Yeah,
you know
you
what I mean?
didn't hang around with him.
Oh, yeah,
just
you know-
pass
you know-
by
yeah,
and
yeah,
show you
yeah.
his
Yeah,
biceps.
but people want to know, like, what's it like to be on set and stuff. Like, you had you were directed by George Clooney as well.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
tell
George-
the story about George Clooney who told you to start. You know what did he tell
Oh
you?
yeah, no, George Clooney. Oh god.
He was directing.
God, I forgot that. Yeah. So I was doing the scene with Chris Abbott, and George Clooney was directing, and he was going, okay, and just blah blah blah. I can't remember what I was saying, and then he said, okay, and then okay, cut, and then you just kind of you're just a bit wooden or something like that, and I was just. Wooden.
And you became
I
a tree.
became a fucking tree after that. I mean, that's what I heard. But I have to say, he knows the effect his George Clooney-ness has on people. So when he met us before the scene, he was cracking jokes and telling silly stories. But I'm just not used to meeting people of that star power, and so he's talking to you, but all you're thinking is, Jesus Christ, that's George Clooney kind of thing. But no, very, very nice, very nice. Chris Abbott was in that, who's also in The Forgiven. But yeah, Rafe Fiennes. A few times you say, "Hey, Rafe," and rather, if I say, "Hey, Hannah," you go, "Oh, hi," right? Or you do this. Rafe. I don't know if he's fucking with you or something. Hey, Rafe, how you doing? He goes like this, like. Hello. It's fucking hilarious because you're not going to say stop fucking around. So he's in control. He can do whatever he wants. So if he wants to slowly do this to you. But when I saw him first, when we arrived in Morocco first, he was having dinner in the restaurant in the hotel, and you just see Ray Fiennes sitting there with his big actor head, something else, some dude. But luckily, I got on well with his personal trainer. I was having good crack with his personal trainer, and I was slagging myself off, saying I'm such a fucking piece of shit, and your man was laughing his head off. So I think he must have said, "Hey, that guy McSally, he's really nice, Ray. You should say, So I didn't know that was his personal trainer. So Rafe and we were the best of pals. But I got to ask Ray Fiennes about certain scenes. I've talked about this before in Schindler's List. It was incredible.
And what did he say?
Well, he said that. You see, that's the power of cinema. They're in the moment, in the situation, and they're just doing a job. And they're acting. He's acting. He's not actually Amon Getz. He's not actually the commandant of a concentration camp. But the way the film is portrayed and presented, it's very, very powerful. And I think as a viewer, the whole experience is way scarier and more significant than actually possibly being in it, But I was asking him about one or two scenes, and he says, "Oh, we just, rise on the set and we just talk to each other, and, you just once, twice, and and then we move on to the next thing." But his portrayal of this primped up psychopath who sort of tries to justify the dehumanization of, it was incredible performance. But it was obviously very subtle. I think great actors, they don't have to do that much because the situation is so historic and so known that you just, as a viewer, you know who he is, where he is, and you project. So just the slightest movement is horrifying. And he put on, madness. I mean, this guy, this guard, he'd wake up in the morning, pull out his Enfield 303 or whatever it was, and he'd see unfortunate people walking a bit slowly, and he'd take out his gun, just shoot them there.
And they were doing that.
Anyway, come on, I don't want to get caught up in that fucking, and I could very easily.
The next question, please.
But also, the other thing is, people pay way too much homage to actors. There are some good ones, but I mean, they're not as, it's a bit of a trick of the light, you know. They're not important people.
Yeah, look at Robert De Niro. He's losing plot recently. Did you see him?
No.
He's such an anti-Trump that he goes around and telling that Trump is a fascist and people shouldn't be voting for him, and just horrible thing.
I mean, you should look up to me, is what I'm saying, because I wrote and created the TV show.
But
if you're going to look up to somebody, don't look up to actors, look up to actual creators.
And then
who cares about? Sorry, what, Trump?
No, and then people shouting after Robert De Niro, like, you've done your movies, you shit actor, you haven't, he's just losing the plot. All these actors, the activists.
Well, that's it. I think a lot of actors, because of their fame in the acting world, they think it sort of crosses over to all other areas of life, and it doesn't, and they don't have the experience, and they don't understand what it's like to be criticised, and they can't handle it. Whereas you see professional politicians, it's water off a fucking duck's back, especially British politicians. It's all very here, and then they talk like that. It's all very reasoned, and boom, and la la la. No, but you're a piece of shit, and you're a load of shit. Well,
and he just like,
and okay, that's your opinion.
Well, certainly one can say that.
Certainly one can say that, but I'm certainly not going to lose my cool in any way. So somebody who has a really good point, but if they're over emotional, they're not going to come across as well as somebody who's a complete bastard, but they're very reasonable British politician.
So we can move on to the next.
Yeah.
Isn't there one vicious one?
There's one vicious. Well, maybe we'll leave that to the end.
No, just put in the vicious one now.
Just now, okay.
This
one, the grew up, that one, yeah?
Well, whatever. I think there's one or two vicious ones.
Yeah, so...
No, there's one question.
I knew... so this is from Genghis KUSH. So I knew...
And this guy, because I was looking at these messages, and this guy really has doesn't like me.
Well, that's okay. That's his opinion.
Okay.
And he's entitled to it.
I think he kind of does like you a little bit.
But it's good. But it hates that he likes me.
I don't know.
Maybe that's love and hate at the same time. Maybe he's got a crush on you.
Because
why does it always have to go there if with a crush? Why are you always forcing gayness on me?
Because you're a bit gay.
This one.
Okay, go on.
So we've got one to fire you up a little bit from Genghis KUSH, a mixture of Genghis Khan and marijuana.
And you guys would know all about Genghis KUSH, I assume, Jack and Daniel.
And if it was called Genghis Smirnoff, you'd know all about it.
Very hurtful. I'm an alcoholic. Thank you very much. Very triggering. Are you happy now?
Great Goose.
Grey Goose.
That's a bit too highbrow, isn't it? Anyway, you have been... So this is Genghis KUSH. You have been given everything. Private school...
Wait. Okay, I haven't been given everything.
Okay, just let's listen to his question.
You have been given everything. Private school, rich family, constantly look down on the working class. To be fair, you are funny, but you've never done anything worthwhile. Thousands your parents spent on education. Thousands RTE spent on your show. You are still a mouth, posh Dublin, CUNT, that had been given every opportunity but failed at life.
That's really deflating.
What's the question? Oh, that's not a question.
No, you wanted me to read it out.
Oh, it's easy.
You can reply.
Well, I don't look down on working class people, Hannah.
Well, but you mock them terribly.
Hannah, why have you suddenly turned into this polite schoolmistress, and then when the cameras are off, you're a vicious Polish person?
Because...
Go on, let people see who you really are and what I have to suffer.
Me saying that you do look down at
She's all like,
class.
God. Anyway, I don't look down. I can't look down. It would be very bad for me as a human being if I honestly thought I was in any way better. It's funny, last night playing in the Crack Den, and Demi Clark was interacting with the audience. What do you do? I'm a roofer. What do you do? I'm a welder. What do you do? I'm a scaffolder. What do you... It's just talking to a group of lads who are from construction. I mean, this is... I love that stuff. I'd love to be a scaffolder. I'd love to be a... Because I'm very good with my hands. I love working with my hands. But working class... I mean, you know... It's like you can't... there's loads of different people, all different types of people who are working class, who are middle class, who are... Well, do we have an upper class? You know, so you can't be dismissive of a whole group of people because of their socioeconomic background and all that shite.
But definitely you had a privileged upbringing.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think.
Well, privilege. I don't know. I mean, I've seen.
What do you mean you don't know? What?
Well, compared to
schools
you,
did
maybe,
you...
Hannah.
No, what schools?
Well, I didn't
did
avail.
You...
So let me to put it this way: I didn't avail of my privilege.
Okay, you know, you were born into
I
it.
self-destructed my privilege.
Yeah.
But
Are you happy now?
To be fair to David, is once he left his, he went out on his own, you know, didn't you?
Yeah, definitely. But you did. You went to Willow Park, which is paid school, very elite.
And talk about handsy
Then-
people. There was dodgy handsy fuckers
Yeah,
there.
then it's the
Blackrock College.
Blackrock College, and it's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this going there because aspiration of the parents just translate into aspiration of the children. Where you hang around, you soak it up as a child, and that's why the business people are more likely to succeed in business because what you learn every day, it's invaluable.
Well, I didn't. I didn't soak. I don't feel I soaked anything up in Blackrock. I just couldn't wait to get out of the place, and they couldn't wait for me to get out of the place. Hence, I've never had any invitation to go back there and talk to students, which I'm quite surprised about. Because I mean, if I was an educator, I'd like to, handpick people from all walks of life to show what options there are for people in school. A lot of people don't fit into that sort of curriculum. Yeah. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. Anyway, like I have. He said, "Well, I'm a failure." Well, I'm not a failure. I don't think I'm a failure.
No, well, David, you say I am a success.
I am a success.
Yes, and congratulations.
And mean it.
Well, no, I'm not a success, but I'm happy. I'm very grateful to where I am now. Like I just did a tour and I made good money on that tour.
You make people laugh.
And that was and I haven't done a tour like that ever.
Yeah, so
it's taken me a long time.
Way.
Yeah, well, it's taken me a long time. But I think life is quite long, and you have successes and failures, and whatever.
And Genghis KUSH, if you ever want to call into the show, reach out. We're an open discourse platform. We host anyone.
Yeah,
Isn't that correct?
We can have him on.
No, but also Genghis KUSH.
Zoom.
I think Genghis KUSH might be talking about this. I do go on about the happy dub, the inner city happy dub. There's
charming.
There's an archetypes. There's the D4, sort of very entitled superiority types, and then there's the. There's those type of people who have constricted larynx and they're very boring, but they keep the country running and they sort hire you. And then there's, man, those guys fucking telling a joke and it's just little clips and clipped sort of, man, don't you have a fucking sense of humour? Yeah, I do have a sense of humour. You don't. Shut up. You're passive aggressive. So, and I think also, if people are from working class backgrounds, they'd be very sensitive to a fucking D4 accent ripping into them. Anyway, here's the thing with comedy. What's the word? Inappropriate anger towards undeserving targets. It doesn't matter. Everybody, it's scattershot. Obviously, I wouldn't go to target people outside of my ethnicity. You have to keep it within.
I love that Happy Dab, who is unsinkable.
Oh yeah, the unsinkable Happy Dub. Yeah. Anyway.
You don't want to do it? Okay.
No.
Because I love that joke.
So what are some moments that, well, the question is, when you're gone, what are the 3 moments that actually absolutely crack you up? Things that you did that were insane / hilarious that you look back on and laugh. So just give us like one moment maybe from street performing or whatever that you, when you look back on, you think that was nuts.
Well, I was thinking there was a time I was in Vicar Street. No, and I was watching Phil Kay, right? Now, Phil Kay, this is what, 2000, this would have been, God, 16 years ago or something. And I saw him in Vicar Street, and he's on stage, right? And he's done an hour and a half show, and oh yeah, people were leaving because they wanted to get the bus. I think he was on 2 hours. People were leaving the audience, and he'd been drinking through the show, so he's getting progressively drunker and drunker. So by the end of the show, he's quite pissed, and he's desperate to keep the audience. And so he pulls down his pants, but as he's pulling down his pants, he falls over, and he's just lying on the stage with his ass directed towards the audience. And I mean, the tears were I was crying. Like, this guy gave everything. There he was, laying prostrate, just naked on the stage, trying to give everything that he could. And it was like, I mean, just, you know, where you just, tears rolling down your face, laughing so much. I've never seen anything like it. Phil Kay in flow is quite something to behold.
Yeah.
But what was the funny things, funny jokes?
Oh, funny thing.
Well, actually, one of the things
performing.
when I got it right as a street performer, like, I'd do this thing where, so I'd be performing wherever it was, have a big audience, and then maybe a tourist bus would go behind me, right? And then I'd say, and it was like that scene from what's that scene? You know, we will never be Braveheart, where he's hold. So anyway, big audience. So a tour bus would go by. So there'd be about 200 people, and the tour bus. So they just arrived into Dublin, and they're all excited. Now the Irish people are so friendly, and so we're all waving at them. Okay, wave, everybody, wave. So everybody's waving at them.
And they
the tour
wave
buses
back?
wave back, and then they go, okay, and give them the finger. And so they give them the finger, and he just the people on the bus like horrified, and you know those moments where collectively, you know, 200 people on the street are roaring, laughing. It's very, very, very exciting to be in the middle of that. Little moments, very nice. Those little things.
Yeah, there's something about the street shows that were so much more risky and stuff, isn't it?
And that one time where this fucking idiot, I was playing down in Temple Bar, and he specifically walked through my show so that he hoping that I would say something to him so he could restore his sense of manhood and say, nobody's going to make fun of me. Now, I still feel bad when I think of my little boys at that point, especially little Jackie. Like Daniel was sort of a bit robuster maybe, but Jack didn't know what was going on, and he sees this guy attacking his dad, and he's all upset. But I'll tell you something though. That's the great thing about, well, I don't know if it's Irish or maybe French people or people in general. By Jesus, they jumped in straight away, and that guy got flung out.
And he lost his toolbox.
Yeah, but he was a fucking
toolbox.
I remember seeing. You remember Tony? You remember that guy, the follow clown?
Yeah.
Juro Tomato. Do you remember Juro Tomato?
Yeah.
This is in Amsterdam. When we met, and me and Hannah, we'd hang out with these guys, and they were big follow clown acts. Actually, huge, and you see them on Instagram still. I think it'll always be around but I used to love that when I'd first seen it, and just the idea of the ridiculousness of, you know, it holds up a mirror to the sort of kind of wonderful pointlessness of pretending you have a sense of purpose, and I'm walking this way and this is how I walk, and the way different people walk, and it's almost they carry their personalities or the worries and how they slump, and your man just in a second will capture that and exaggerate it like a cartoonist in real.
So you're talking
time.
about clowns when they identified a person and they kind of copy them.
Yeah, they follow clown. They walk.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
And it, you know. And what the best was when the person that was being followed enjoyed it and had a laugh. and then the whole audience, and it was almost fair play, good sport, you know. But then you'd see some people who'd get angry.
Yeah.
And I was always like, oh, you fucking moron, you know what I mean? So again, there's a lot of buzz killers around, you know, people who see other people having a good time and they don't like it because they can't get involved in it. They can't. So if I can't enjoy it, why should anybody else enjoy it? You know, there's that kind of mean-spiritedness. And that was great back then because they didn't have access to social media. Nobody listened to them. But now those people who don't enjoy stuff or don't get it or who want to take stuff out of context or want to take stuff literally or who won't even allow people to fuck up and make mistakes, they start, you know, getting a group of people. And it's extraordinary how a very tiny group of people can affect change. If you are an activist, you should be aware of that. It doesn't take that many people to start putting pressure on companies or whatever to affect change, man.
Well,
maybe you should do that, Hannah. You should become an activist.
Yeah, unless it's a really big, powerful company like Pfizer or Moderna. I have a question. What's your best memory as a father? Or one of the best memories as a father, because it's very hard to.
Well, one time, because Daniel used to come with me street performing in Copenhagen, little Daniel, and I'd take him on my bicycle trailer, and he'd sit there.
We actually have a photo.
And I used to sing this song to the tune of, "Oh, life is bigger, it's bigger than you." And I used to, because we were living in Copenhagen, and all the Swedish used to come over from Malmo to Copenhagen, and because the alcohol was cheaper. And so I would sing, "Oh, beer is cheaper. It's cheaper in Denmark than in Sweden. That's why the Swedish come here to drink cheaper." Oh, I can't remember the rest of it. But little Daniel, how old was he? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
And you know, I gave him the little microphone, and he was just singing the song. Now, you see, of course, I adore my son, and then you assume everybody else does. You know, you just see this kid, you know. But there was those little moments, you know, as a street performer, was very touching. I loved having little Daniel with me. You know, like I'd be street performer and I'd look behind me, or one of the street performers would be looking after Daniel or whatever. That was lovely. And then there was one time when me, Jack, and Daniel were in Elblong. I think me and Daniel were playing frisbee or something, and little Jack was in his push chair, and he was in you know those little baby grows, and so their arms are out like that. And he was just looking at me and Daniel playing and Daniel laughing and jumping around, and then little Jack, he's no teeth yet. He's just laughing his head off. He doesn't know what he's laughing at. I mean, that was the other thing with Jack when he'd sit around a table before he could talk, and we'd all be talking for a while, and then he'd just go, "Turn his head on, friend," because he'd see everybody else, so he couldn't do it. Just want to get involved, and he just, "I've got to tell you later," and that was really cute. All these little things, you know. And oh yeah, well maybe as well when you had Daniel. Oh, that was right. And you were, so you know, I'd get out of bed, and then this is when you first had Daniel, and you'd be lying in bed breastfeeding. And you just, you know, so you're just about to get into bed, and then you'd look at you and your big knockers, and just sort of Daniel kind of half awake and then falling asleep and then waking up again, but on your breast, and you're like, this whole life, this in your bed, it's very powerful. I mean, you know, when you think of you know, we talk about what a wonderful city, what a wonderful house. Look at this place. And then you look at, you know, humans, women in particular, they have the power to create life in their wombs. And then they have the power to feed. So they are a supermarket. They are a fucking house. They're a village. They're like the Swiss Army knife of, it's incredible the human female body and how it's so protective, so nurturing. So to witness that has been, I'm very, very grateful.
Beautiful.
Well, I think that's nice. I think maybe it's a good place to sign off from.
How long have we
Yeah.
been broadcasting?
45 minutes.
Have we
Yeah.
done any conspiracy corner at all?
No,
Do you have
well,
anything?
we do, it's a special Q&A episode. So unless Daniel has some Nicolas Cage.
Oh, maybe Daniel has a question to David.
I don't know. There were some questions there that were interesting.
Well, there was a question is
Fiona, I was talking to Fiona O'Shaughnessy, my ex-girlfriend. She said she was watching a documentary with Gene Wilder, and she said Daniel reminds her. Gene Wilder reminds her of Daniel.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
well, there was one about was it me or Daniel, and it was Daniel in the who built the roads.
Oh,
You know,
the Savage Eyes sketch, yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean it was then to be at, and then follow-up question was how did the boys feel about being part of the show? Did they enjoy all that and stuff?
Oh, did did people in school know that you were in the Savage Eye?
I don't know if they actually.
Oh, because they've been too young to see it.
Yeah. I don't think they would have noticed just yet. Like, yeah, it would have happened a bit later on. Yeah.
There was one guy in school, I remember. Like there would be the odd person that would know, and there was one guy, and like he was in the this is when I was in like first or second year, and he was in one of the older years. But every time he go past me, he just kind of say Savage Eye, Savage Eye. I was just like, all right, a bit weird, you know. But yeah, it was always nice.
There was that one moment, you remember when Jack was smiling all the time when I was chasing him? I was such a fucking idiot, and I said, Jack, stop smiling. And then I just took him to one side. Jack, this is too serious. And he was like,
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and he was crying. I didn't know why, actually. I didn't know it. My God.
such an abusive father.
Yeah.
But it was always, I remember it was always so much fun being on the sets and talking to the different comedians or the different crew members, and they were all really friendly, and you know they wouldn't treat me like a kid. You know, they'd enjoy. They felt like they enjoyed being around me and stuff. So I always enjoyed that. It was funny going back to school then after that, because then you're with you know people your age, and you're kind of used to making jokes with older people and stuff like that, and then you go back to school and it's like, oh, you know, it's like you have to get back used to it. Obviously people, you more relate to people, but you know, you kind of have
oh, that's interesting. Yeah,
you know, you're being exposed to a different way of you know, making jokes and talking, and then going back to school or snots running down their
right
and everything.
That's an interesting oh yes, I was telling a comedian last night about that thing called seeking arrangements, and I was telling her that a friend of me and Jack's had gone on a coffee date with this very rich businessman. I don't know who he was.
Is she still on Seeking Arrangements?
I don't know, but the thing is, so this girl is having coffee with this 50-year-old guy. And at the end of it, gives her an envelope, €750, and I'm talking about. I'm saying to him, "Oh well, this is part of a, you know, a ruse whereby he kind of invites her again, and then gives her more money, and eventually wants to shag her." And then he made the good point. Well, I mean, if he just wants to get the ride, like he could get it for a lot cheaper, couldn't he? I mean, with an actual sex worker.
It's not the point though.
So I think they possibly get off on being able to give that amount of money or something.
Of course.
I mean, you know, huh?
And,
or maybe it's
be
because
a
she's
lot
not a sex worker that maybe the idea of turning her excites him. Oh, I don't know.
Or, you know, it's just, you don't know. It could be a lot of factors. It could be because she's young, she's not sleeping around, or maybe that's her first time doing this. Maybe because...
No, I'm talking from the guy's point of view.
Yeah,
What's he getting out of it? What's he getting out of it?
It's a control thing where it's like it's marketed towards you know, the internet terms high value men or whatever. It's marketed towards guys who make a lot of money. Generally they're divorced or something, or you know, they have a thing going on where
funny.
they want to be in a relationship with a girl where they're providing all the money, blah blah blah, and the girl, all she has to do is kind of look pretty and be there for whatever they want.
Right.
So there is a transactional element, but
Right.
that is they're not like confused about that.
Who are not?
The men.
The men.
Oh, yeah.
The men
they
are-
know
are-
exactly what they want.
But that's what they want. They don't want.
Is that why they're called? Some of them, that expression, pay pigs. In other words, they actually enjoy part of the enjoyment of the thing is giving the girl money. Like I enjoy giving you money, Hannah.
Okay.
But that's a
yeah.
different thing. There's also like the humiliation aspect.
Oh,
that's
right.
a different.
That's
thing.
a different thing.
That's where I knew one girl in college, and she would say like, and it was very hard to believe that anyone would pay money.
But
you
that's
know.
true.
But-
I've
but-
heard about it
But
as well.
she said she would go to do shopping, but this guy would bring her shopping, and like she would treat him really badly. She'd be like, "Buy me this now, you disgusting piece of shit," or whatever, and he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'll buy that for you." And like one time he just came over to her house and gave her like 100 quid, you know, and she's like, "Thank you, bye." And he liked that kind of dominatrixy
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, I know there was one woman who actually gets guy to come to her house to clean the house for her, and they pay her.
They pay her. They clean her house and pay her.
Yeah, and she
Wow.
at the same time she sort
That's
of
fucking awesome.
and she whips them around and push them around and they,
God, if he actually that could be. Can you imagine it? Have you finished the toilet? You fucking prick.
I mean,
Yeah.
but
And
if
then
that-
at the end of it, he
But
gives
put
her
his
money.
ha-
I mean, that's a
Jesus.
form of abuse, though, technically.
Yeah,
But
but
wait a second.
he
I'm just trying
likes
to
it.
think. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
but if that
can-
was a girl, you would.
Can you imagine if you
wouldn't
could
be
get a
like,
woman,
she likes
a
it.
woman? Hi, David. Pretend you're a woman who wants to come to my house and clean up because it excites you sexually, and then you pay me afterwards. Okay, you're that woman, and your name is Doreen. Hey, Doreen.
Hi, can I come? Can I come to your house?
What?
and Clean.
Sorry,
clean
Doreen.
it?
Hang on a second.
Oh, I wanna-
So just Doreen.
Yeah, and
I've never met you before.
Just,
I've never heard anything. Just
I'm gonna pay.
hello,
you
Doreen.
money.
David.
I'm gonna pay.
You're gonna
you
what?
money. I'm gonna pay you money
Yes.
for cleaning your house, and
Sorry,
you're gonna
Doreen.
smack my bottom.
Well, I don't want to smack your bottom, but I do want my house cleaned.
Well,
How much is it going to cost me?
oh, it's gonna. It's. I'm gonna pay you. I'm gonna.
You're
pay
going to come to my. Sorry, Doreen.
Yes, I'm gonna pay you.
How much are you going to pay me to clean my house?
Oh, I'm gonna pay you like 300 euro an
Okay,
hour.
okay, great. Okay, now we're in the house. You knock, knock. Okay, hello, Doreen. Come on in, Doreen.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, could you clean? Oh, yeah. You want me to talk dirty to you as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
talk dirty to me. Do
okay,
you have
okay,
a
okay.
whip?
Hang on a second. Listen, you fucking moron. You wouldn't go in and clean me toilet, would you?
No,
Go
not
on.
like this. Yeah, it has to be sexual.
No. Well, hang on a second. Okay, clean my toilet, you sexy bitch.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'll be.
What else do
and
I
let-
have to
and-
do?
Just clean my toilet, right? Okay, and then now clean my kitchen, you dirty whore. Go on, and then
I've
you
had
finish.
enough.
Hang on a second. 2 hours later, hi Doreen, have you done everything?
Oh yeah.
Okay, see you later. Oh, do you have some money for me?
Yeah.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Fucking
I
what is
loved it.
what? Can you imagine it?
That would be amazing.
No, but I don't think. Yeah, there's probably a big sexual component to it.
Of course it is.
It's all sexual. It's humiliation and submissiveness.
Well, this is a big thing in Japan, the humiliation.
I'm big in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm big in Japan.
You ever heard about these idols?
I
you
think
know?
I'm turning Japanese. I think I'm turning Japanese. I really think.
Idols? What?
There's these idols. They're like young Japanese
Oh, yeah.
girls, really teenagers that like do this cutesy pop dance, singing, and you know, and all their fans are middle-aged blokes, you know. And you go to the ones that are up and coming, you know, and you go to their shows, and the whole front row is just full of older and middle-aged guys with big cameras, you know, like proper professional paparazzi cameras, just
But listen,
taking pictures.
do they
Hello,
trying
my name is
to
Mika.
date those
No,
girls?
they're like, you see these guys around the girls and they're like starstruck. They're like, oh, hello, how are you? And they're like, shake their hand, they get the picture, and they're all nervous around them. Well, I mean, they were interviewing one guy, and he was like, I can see how people think it's weird, you know. But we're like her father, you know. That's
So
what he
do
was
they
saying.
pay money for that? Or
Well, yeah, they would pay a VIP ticket to go to the show and get a meet and greet after, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And then they would do live streams, and the girls would go with donations on the live stream. And obviously on the live stream, it's all blokes that are giving donations, you know.
Okay. Meet and greet. Okay, well, thank you very much, everyone, for this Father's Day special.
do you feel special?
And thank you for the card. And also thank you, everyone, for listening. And I hope you have a lovely Father's Day. And family gives meaning to the indifference of the universe. And love, for as long as it lasts,
Conquers everything.
thank you.